Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be diving into a really fun box from Maniology. This is the Mani and Me box. It is released on the 23rd of each month. It's a really fun box filled with all your stamping goodies. And I really like the box. It says, "What will you create next?" And then inside we have a little sneak peek of what the theme is going to be. So this card right here is always a good indicator on the color palette and what the stamping plates are going to be. And then here's a little background on the really fun Tutti Frutti Mani and Me kit. And then here's a little inspiration here on the postcard. And then on the back of the postcard, it also includes some helpful tips and tricks along the way so you can really recreate some really fun looks. And I'm really excited that it is a fruit themed box because fruit is really in and trendy right now. So I cannot wait to see what these stamping plates look like. So everything is wrapped up really nicely. So let's open this. So the kit includes 2 stamping plates, 2 stamping polishes, and then a special surprise. So let's open it up here, and I already see we have that special surprise right there. It is that strawberry, which I'm really excited about. You're going to see here why in just a moment. So here's all the goodies that were wrapped nicely in that little package. You always have an exclusive sticker, so if you love collecting stickers, this is a really nice touch, and it's Bloom It With Grace. And then we have the 2 stamping plates that are exclusive to this bundle only, so you cannot purchase these on the website. They are exclusive to this really fun box, and then you get early access to some fun new stamping polishes that are coming out. Now, even though these stamping plates are exclusive to this box, I will share with you in just a little bit how you can get your hands on these stamping plates. The colors that they included in the month are really refreshing. We have a beautiful zesty apple crisp green, and then we have a lemon zest color. Those colors are we're gonna play with those today so you can really get a good feel on those new colors. And then we have our bonus item, which is this adorable strawberry, and this right here is by far like melting my whole heart. So what this is, it is a scraper holder, and then it can hold a couple other things, which I'll show you. So I have some scraper cards here. I'm going to open up, and we're just going to go ahead and put the scraper cards in here. I think this is such a cute little thing, especially if you're really into stamping, and then you can go ahead and put your flat brush in there. And then I wanted to see if we could fit any of the stamping plates in here. So I'm just kind of playing around with it. So the stamping plate does not fit in the card holders, but you can put that stamping plate in the front of it and just swap out that brush. So again, we have a adorable, cute little accessory for your nail desk. So we're going to create a set of press-ons today on the shape Short Almond. And then for our base color, we're going to go in with a really beautiful, just light wash of white. And I really like using Korean syrups when it comes to just doing a light wash of color. This color is also really buildable and beautiful. It's just that perfect sheer milky white, just to give that nail just a little bit of pop of color. But I do not want to take away from the beautiful colors in the stamping that we're going to be utilizing today. Plus, we're going to do a little bit of a really easy nail art design that's just very, very subtle on all these nails here in just a moment. So I cure that first coat for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to go in with a second coat. The second coat, which really just brings this color to life. Like I said, it's just a very delicate color. So we're going to finish in applying this color to all 5 of the nails. I'm going to cure for a full 30 seconds, and then once that's cured, here's what the color looks like with 2 coats. And now we're going to go in and just incorporate a little touch of really easy nail art. We're going to go in with the DIAMI Baby Boomer Gel. I've used this on my channel a couple times now, and I really like this product. So what you do is you go ahead, and we're going to use this little mushroom sponge, and we're just going to tap on some of that gel product right onto that sponge. And once I pick up enough product, and a little bit does go a long way, I'm just going to tap off that extra right here on this little palette and really work that gel right into the sponge. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just create a little design here on all of the nails just to add a little bit more like pop of white. I'll add a little bit more dimension to the nail. It's going to be very subtle, so I'm just kind of doing like an aurora white just in the middle of the nail, and I'm not going to cure. So the first coat just is a very light wash, and I'm not going to cure. I'm just going to go right back in with the sponge and just build it up just a little bit more. And that's the best part about these gels, is that you can go in as many times as you want to build up that color, and you do not need to cure. And that little bit of product is going to get me through all 5 of the nails that we're going to be doing today. So I'm just going to finish up the designs on the next one. I'm just going to focus doing like a little bit of a white ombre right on the tip, and then we're just going to go ahead and implement this on the rest of the nails. But it's a really cool way to just add a little bit of nail art. Plus, on the areas that are a little bit more whiter, that stamping image is going to stand out just a little bit more to really give the nails a cool effect. We're just sponging on a little bit more on the other nails, and then we're going to get into the stamping, which I know That's what you're here for, is seeing this really fun stamping kit in action. We are going to use both of the plates today. We're going to do a little bit of reverse stamping. We're going to do some layering stamping so you can get a good idea on how to utilize this plate or get some nail inspo. And nail stamping is a really easy way to add some effortless nail art to any nail look. You can do all 5 nails like we're going to do today, or you can pick and choose a couple accent nails to add a little bit of stamping to, but it's really, really fun. All right, so we're just finishing up the last nail, and then we're going to go ahead and pop these in the lamp. I cured for a full 30 seconds. Here's what it looks like before the stamping. And then for our nail look today, we're going to recreate this lemon set. I fell in love with this the moment I saw this postcard, and I was like, we need to try and recreate it. So it's going to be the 2 exclusive colors, and then we're going to incorporate a black, a white, and then a blue. We're going to start off with the thumbnail first, which is that plaid nail with then a little bit of a lemon image in the middle. Now, to be honest with you, I've never tried layering stamping, and what I mean by that is doing the plaid first on the nail and then putting another image on top of that. So that's going to be something that we're going to dabble into today. Now that we press the image on the nail, I'm just going to go ahead and just gently press everything down, making sure everything is laying super flat. But I really like this plaid nail, and you could do so many different things with this. I feel like incorporating 2 polishes on the stamping plate and then scrape it would give you a really cool ombre effect as well. But I really like this. Then to clean it up, I'm using the cotton grabber from Maniology with a little bit of acetone, and then I'm just cleaning up that plate. Now we're going to go back in with the blue, and we're just going to finish up the rest of the blue that's on this set. We have 2 other nails that incorporate the blue. So let's get into that, and then we'll pop back in just a little bit when it's time to do some reverse stamping. For this nail, it's going to be a trust the moment kind of process because the image on the postcard looked like this nail was completely covered with this pattern. The only thing is that I couldn't get a full image because it had an opening in the middle. So we're just going to go ahead and keep filling in that open area on the nail by just going in and getting some new imaging from that same stamping image. We're just going to clean it off. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more image and then stamp it on that open area just so we have that full coverage effect. I'm not sure if that's what they did for that set in particular, but this was the best way for me to kind of recreate that inspo card. So now I'm just going to kind of line it up as best as I can, and if I layer it too much on a certain area, we're going to have some darker spots. I'm not too worried about that because we're going to go ahead and add some lemons to this nail at the end so I can kind of focus on those darker areas and make sure I put some lemons on there to kind of even it out. But again, this is a trust the moment kind of process here. And then we're just going to press everything down. And for me, I'm like, okay, this is good. We'll clean it up later with some lemons. All right, so we still have one more nail that we need to incorporate the blue. This time we're going to keep that opening, and we're just going to go ahead and pick up that image. And the only thing that I had to really focus on with this image right here is making sure I had it exactly on the nail in the center where I wanted it, because we wanted to make sure we were keeping that opening in the middle. That was like the only thing I kind of had a little bit of struggle with, was making sure I was getting that image exactly in the middle. But if it's not perfect, you could always go ahead and take a lint-free wipe with a little bit of acetone, clean off that image and start over. But I'm liking what we're working with right now. All right, so we're moving on to the lemon nail. So this is going to be our first lemon nail that we're going to incorporate some reverse stamping. So we're going to fill in this image. So I put a little bit of black polish on there, and we picked up some beautiful lemons. For our polishes, for the flower, we're going to fill it in with white. We're going to pull in then the 2 colors that came in the box. We're going to start off with that beautiful green apple crisp, and we're going to use that for the leaves. I prefer to use a dotting tool for the reverse method. I just feel like the tiniest part of the dotting tool really works wonders for me, and I can just gently tap right into those areas. Now it's kind of like you're coloring in the stamp as you go. Don't worry if it looks like a hot mess. This is also a trust the process kind of moment, because once you go ahead and reverse, like flip that stamper over, everything's going to look really beautiful and you're going to have the perfect image. So just don't worry too much about if it's not in the lines right, or if it just looks like a glob. It's all going to work out in the end. You just want to make sure when you're doing this part that you have a very delicate hand and that you are not going over that image again once you apply that polish, because this polish does dry really fast. And if you miss a spot and go back into it like a few seconds later, what's going to happen is that you'll actually take away the polish because it will end up sticking on your dotting tool. So just make sure you are covering that entire area right away before you move on to the next color because you don't want to have to go back into it, if that makes sense. Now we're going to go in with the yellow. So this yellow right here, when I first looked at it, I didn't know it had like this liquid metal kind of feel to it. And until I put it on the lemon, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really beautiful. And this is a great yellow to have because not only is it perfect for that transition into summer, it's perfect for fruit nails like we're doing today, but it's such a gorgeous undertone. It's not too harsh, it's not too bright, and there's just something about that like pearly liquid metal effect that I feel like this is going to be a great addition to your stamping polish collection. Now that we have the lemons on there, we're going to go ahead and fill in the flowers with the white. We're just going to go ahead and just dot it in. So you can see here, if you're looking at the stamper really closely, it does look like a hot mess, but we're just going to go ahead and just fill in these tiny leaves that I saw at the end. At first I thought those were flowers, but nope, they're leaves. And then we're going to go ahead and flip this over, and then this is when you're going to see the stamping image really come to life. You can see we have all these beautiful details coming through. Now to get this imagery on top of the nail, what I'm going to do, since I want to make sure this lays completely flat, I'm going to take a little bit of transfer foil glue. I'm going to apply that to the entire nail just like you would apply a gel base or gel top coat, and then I am going to cure it for 60 seconds. This brand in particular does give you a cure time in the directions of 60 seconds. And then once I cure that, I'm just going to go ahead and just line up that design exactly where I want it. And then I don't have to worry about not having a clean image. That entire image is going to come completely off. I'm just going to go ahead and press everything down and check it out. We have a really beautiful image transfer right here. Now, if you don't want to use a gel product, Maniology does offer a sticky base. That's a great alternative, and I'll link that in the description box below. All right, so to save time, I went ahead and picked up the rest of the stamping image to complete the nail look. It's the exact same image we picked up the first time around. I filled it in, and then right here you can see we have a lot of that image hanging off the nail. Now you could do a couple different things. You could go ahead and trim it away with a cuticle nipper. You can file it off like we're doing right here, just very gently filing away that image, or you could take a flat brush with a little bit of acetone and clean it up. But I really like how this nail turned out, and I cannot wait to see the rest of the nails come to life. All right, so back to the thumbnail. The one that we did the plaid on, we're going to go ahead and incorporate another stamping image on top of that. So we're going to pick up some lemons. I did pick up a little bit of extra ink here on that nail stamping plate, so I'm going to clean that up so we have a good clean image. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to keep filling in the lemons, the leaves, and the flowers, and then we'll go ahead and place that on the thumbnail in just a few moments. Now that we filled in that stamping image, I want to give this nail a tacky layer, so I'm going to go back in with the transfer foil glue on this nail as well and cure for a full 60 seconds, just so we have a really good tacky layer. I didn't want to risk peeling off that beautiful pattern that we just created, so this is kind of like a protection of barrier. Plus we get that sticky tacky layer to really get these lemons to stick down. But how fun is that? I really like that layering effect. It definitely gave the nail a lot of dimension. All right, I picked up another image just to save some time. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in quick. Now, if you want to get your hands on these palettes, they are exclusive to the Mani and Me box, but if you want to try the Mani and Me box, let's say just for 1 month, to see if it's something that would fit in your nail style, you can definitely enroll. And then what you will do is once you enroll, you will get access to past nail stamping palettes. So then you will be able to purchase these two that you see here. So that is a way around it because they do not sell these in the actual storefront. They are exclusively to the Mani and Me box. So if you are interested in the Mani and Me box, now is the time, because this month they definitely hit it out of the park, and I cannot wait to see what they have to offer for next month. All right, so I'm putting the lemons on top of like that solid nail that we did, and I really liked how that turned out. And then for the pinky nail, I switched up the pinky nail here just a little bit on the design because I wanted more of a lemony look on here, and I wanted to pull in more of like the lemons and the leafy greens, so I kind of went in a different direction on the pinky nail than on the original postcard. But I really love how this turned out. All right, so here's what we're working with. I could not be more obsessed with this lemon look. All right, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. So the thumbnail had just like a couple lemons on there. I just wanted more pops of green. So then to finish up this set today, we're going to go in with a layer of gel top coat to all the nails. And then I went ahead and cured for 60 seconds. Now, if you want a glossy finish, you can definitely rock a glossy finish with this look. But I wanted to take it up a notch to do a matte finish. So after I cured the glossy top coat, I went in with a lint-free alcohol wipe, and then I'm going in to finish it off now with a layer of the matte top coat, cured for 60 seconds. And here's the finished set. I love this set so much. The matte top coat definitely brought those lemons to life. We have a little bit of like an effortless chrome moment shining through, but I could not be more just like I could not be more thrilled on how this set turned out, and I really am glad that I tried recreating that lemon set on top of that inspo card because this is just everything to me. And I cannot wait to dive into more of this palette because there's so many different options, different fruits, and different color schemes that you can definitely get so much use out of this palette all summer long with all those fun fruit trendy nails. All right, so everything that we use in today's video can be found in that description box below, and I'll see you all in the next one.